Hey there, welcome back. Today we're diving into a super cool, emotional, and totally out of this world story. It's got aliens, space travel, magical tech, and a whole lot of love. That's right, we're talking about Elio. So grab some popcorn and get comfy. This one's gonna take you on a wild ride across the galaxy. The story kicks off at the Air and Space Museum, where we meet Major Olga. She's trying her best to get her young nephew Elio to eat something. But Elio? He's not saying a word. He's clearly not okay. We quickly learn that he recently lost both of his parents, and ever since, he's been under Olga's care. She's doing her best, but Elio struggles to connect with the world, and especially with other kids his age. While Olga is catching up with an old friend, Elio wanders off on his own and finds himself in front of the Voyager 1 exhibit. Something about it really hits home for him. He stares in awe, imagining the endless universe out there and the possibility of life beyond Earth. That moment sparks something big in him, an obsession with aliens and outer space. From that day forward, Elio becomes totally fixated on making contact with life beyond Earth. He tries everything, radio signals, secret codes, even trips to the beach at night, hoping to get abducted by aliens. But while he dreams of the stars, his Aunt Olga finds it harder and harder to reach him emotionally. She feels like he blames her for giving up her own dream of becoming an astronaut just to raise him. One night at the beach, during one of Elio's alien signal missions, he runs into two boys, Bryce and Caleb. They've heard about Elio's space obsession and clearly don't think much of it. Elio picks up a strange alien signal on the radio, and just as he's trying to understand it, the boys mess around, dragging the radio and Elio with them. The radio falls, hits him in the face, and gives him a nasty bruise. Furious, Elio lashes out and punches one of them. Cut to later. Olga picks Elio up from the hospital. And she's mad. Not just about the fight, but about how he's been skipping school and sneaking off. She jokes that maybe she needs to put a tracking chip on him just to keep up. To try something new, Olga brings Elio with her to her base. There, they meet a scientist named Gunther Melmick, who believes the base's computers picked up a real message from outer space. He claims he's made contact through the Voyager. But Olga isn't buying it. She thinks it's nonsense and even suspends Gunther for 2 weeks. But Elio? He sneaks back into the control room after everyone's left. He sits at the terminal and sends his own heartfelt message to the stars. Okay, bye. I love you. That simple, emotional message somehow manages to transmit, but it causes a massive power outage across the entire base. Elio's thrilled. He races home and packs all the essentials, thinking aliens are totally about to come get him. But Olga is beyond furious. She yells at him, tells him to stop all this nonsense. She almost lost her job over it. She tells Elio that aliens aren't coming and he's out of control. At this point, Olga decides that something has to change. She makes the tough decision to enroll Elio in a boarding school, hoping it might help him build friendships and get back on track. But Elio takes this the wrong way. He thinks she's just trying to get rid of him. When she gently says she wants him to have at least one real friend, Elio bitterly replies that he doesn't need friends, he needs to meet aliens. There are 500 million habitable planets out there. Surely one of them wants him. Because right now, he feels like Olga definitely doesn't. The next morning, Olga drives him to the boarding school. She tells him she went there as a kid, and even if it doesn't seem like it, she believes it'll be good for him. Unfortunately, it turns out that the bullies from the beach, Bryce and Caleb, are also there. And they're planning revenge. Later that night, Elio sneaks off to try contacting the aliens again. But he hears the bullies approaching and takes off running into the woods. At the same time, back at the base, the computers glitch out, and a mysterious message appears. Bring us your leader, please. Meanwhile in the forest, Elio is caught by the bullies. Just as they're about to rough him up, time freezes. A glowing portal opens in the sky, and Elio is suddenly sucked upward, beaming with excitement. He finds himself transported to the COmmUNIvers, a galactic hub where all the different leaders from alien planets gather to share wisdom and culture. He's met by a liquid supercomputer named Yu, who helps Elio adjust to this strange new world. Yu gives him a disk that regulates his gravity and temperature so he can survive in space. Elio then meets 3 alien ambassadors, Questa, Helix, and Tegman. They welcome him warmly and explain that they believe he's the official leader of Earth. because they intercepted the Voyager and his message. They think he launched the spacecraft, and he is the leader of Earth. What? Before Elio can correct them, another crisis comes up. A new candidate wants to join the COmmUNIvers, Lord Gryan of the Hierarchian race. He's violent, scary, and power-hungry. The ambassadors want nothing to do with him. Gryan threatens to take over the COmmUNIvers by force if he's not allowed in. Panicked, the ambassadors decide to flee. They say they'll hide at the end of the cosmos and shut off all their lights. Because of the danger, they also tell Elio that they're no longer accepting new members, including Earth, and they prepare to send Elio back home. But Elio thinks about his life on Earth, how alone and unwanted he's felt. Instead of returning, he bravely volunteers to talk to Gryan himself. Maybe if he can reason with him, the COmmUNIvers will see that Elio really is worthy of representing Earth. He even shows off his bruised eye as a battle scar, hoping to impress them with his courage. The ambassadors are shocked, but they agree. Now, the liquid computer gets to work. It takes a DNA sample from Elio's nose. Then it uses that to create a clone of Elio, a perfect copy, to go back and live on Earth while the real Elio continues his intergalactic adventure. Pretty genius, right? The computer also hands him a glowing universal guidebook, basically an alien self-help manual, for talking to cosmic dictators like Lord Gryan. Next stop? Gryan's mothership. Elio finally meets the dude face to face, and wow, this guy is as evil as they come. Gryan doesn't just talk tough, he murders smaller, weaker beings for fun. It's no surprise the COmmUNIvers doesn't want him anywhere near their council. But Elio keeps his cool. He smartly tells Gryan that just because the COmmUNIvers rejected him, doesn't mean there isn't someone out there who would respect a powerful being like him. Gryan seems intrigued. For a second, it looks like Elio might actually win him over. But then, bam, one of Gryan's guards interrupts. His son wants to see him. Now this takes a weird turn. Gryan starts talking to Elio like they're fellow dads, assuming Elio has kids of his own. He rants about how hard it is to raise a kid who doesn't take him seriously. Elio, trying to play along, jokes that if the kid's too much to handle, just ship him off. Big mistake. Gryan takes it personally, thinks Elio's insulting his parenting. He flips out and tosses Elio in prison. Back on Earth, Auntie Olga picks up clone Elio from camp. She's weirded out because he's suddenly super polite, helpful, and doing dishes? She's definitely suspicious. This is not the Elio she knows. Meanwhile, in Gryan's prison, real Elio is trying to escape when he bumps into someone unexpected, Gryan's son, Gordon. And surprise, Gordon is the total opposite of his dad. He's kind, gentle, and honestly just wants to vibe. He even shows Elio his robot armor, and that's when Elio realizes Gryan isn't naturally powerful. It's the armor doing the work. When guards start looking for Elio, Gordon asks if he's some kind of assassin. But Elio lays it all out. He's just a regular kid who accidentally got wrapped up in a galactic mess. And the fate of the universe is now somehow on his tiny, scared shoulders. Gordon decides to help. The plan? Use Gordon as a bargaining chip. Elio pretends to kidnap him, hoping it'll force Gryan to back off from the COmmUNIvers. They sneak out of the ship, with Elio literally hiding inside Gordon's mouth to avoid the lava. Yep, lava. They make it back to the COmmUNIvers and send Gryan a message. Elio says he'll only return Gordon if Gryan withdraws his army and never comes back. When Elio tickles Gordon, Gryan thinks he's being tortured and gives in. Before Gryan arrives, Elio and Gordon have a blast. Gordon finally gets to see how fun the COmmUNIvers is. They eat wild space food, pull space pranks, just goof off like real kids. The ambassadors are so impressed with Elio's bravery that they prepare to officially make him Earth's ambassador and even design a custom badge in his favorite color. But when Gryan arrives to pick up his son, Gordon has a meltdown. He doesn't want to go back. He hates the idea of being a war machine like his dad. So Elio comes up with another plan, clone Gordon. The clone goes back with Gryan while the real Gordon stays with Elio. Back on Earth, Olga is still bonding with clone Elio, but the changes are way too much. The real Elio would never voluntarily wash dishes, right? Suspicious. She plucks a hair from his head, and it starts wriggling. Okay, full panic mode. She sneaks into his room and lifts his eye patch. Yep, only one eye. Not human. He wakes up and calmly explains everything. Meanwhile, real Elio hides the real Gordon in a ship and gives the clone to Brian. As Brian preps to leave with his son, he notices something's off. Gordon's way too excited about conquering planets. He knows something's not right, and then he melts the clone. Furious, Brian accuses Elio of lying and betraying him. Elio's like, "How did you even know?" And Brian snaps back, "A father always knows his son." Brian forces one of the ambassadors to dig into Elio's mind. There, they uncover the truth: Elio's not Earth's leader. He's just a kid. Furious, they open a portal to send him back to Earth. But things get worse. Brian goes full beast mode, tearing up the COmmUNIverse and capturing the other ambassadors while searching for his real son. One ambassador manages to push Elio through the portal, just to save him. Elio lands on a beach, devastated. That's where he sees Olga and the clone version of himself. He assumes they've already replaced him. But then he overhears Olga praying for Elio to come back. She never gave up on him. That moment hits hard. Elio walks up to her and reveals himself. They hug it out, finally. Then they notice chaos at the nearby military base. Gordon's ship has crashed. He's dying from hypothermia. His alien body can't handle Earth's cold. Olga and Elio race there. Clone Elio creates a distraction by melting himself so the others can sneak in. Elio and Olga get Gordon onto the ship, but there's a problem. They can't go into hyperspeed because they're headed straight for a dangerous debris belt. Elio reaches out to Bryce, one of the bullies from earlier, using an old radio. Surprisingly, Bryce feels terrible about everything. Elio forgives him and asks for help. Bryce teams up with scientist Melmick to guide them through the space debris. It's rough. The ship gets beat up, their shields nearly crash, but they make it. They finally reach the COmmUNiverse. Brian is there, waiting. Elio and Olga carry Gordon to him, and seeing his son dying hits Brian like a punch to the heart. He takes off his armor, revealing a soft, vulnerable worm creature underneath. He wraps Gordon in silky webs, almost like a space swaddle, and slowly, Gordon wakes up. They talk. Gordon tells his father he doesn't want to be a soldier. Brian, for the first time ever, says he already knew. And though he doesn't fully understand Gordon, he still loves him. He even turns to Elio and says something no one expected: "I'm sorry." The council is so moved by Elio's bravery, they officially make him an ambassador. Even though he lied, he risked everything for someone else. And that's what true leaders do. But just as Elio's about to accept the badge, he sees Olga standing there. So he realizes, this world is amazing, but Earth still has people who love him. He's finally ready to give it a chance. So Elio gives the badge back. He and Olga return to Earth, where everyone, from the campers to the soldiers, is stunned to see a spaceship land. Elio and Olga step out, side by side. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you're into awesome animation stories with big heart and wild adventures, make sure to subscribe and stick around for more. Bye.